Hello and welcome back to this mini-series Cooking with a Dutch Oven. I love cooking with a Dutch oven so much. You can get so much flavour into all of your cooking. Today I made a chicken korma. It's my first time ever making a chicken korma. I did kind of make it up and it is a bit of an experiment. As I've said before, I'm really not the best at following recipes, nor do I ever write down my recipes. So I guess I don't know if I can recreate this dish, but it did turn out really good. To start off this dish, I started off by frying off my chicken. As I previously said, it is really good to always fry your meat off first. I always like to put a lot of salt at the beginning as it gives it time to cook off and it's healthier for you. It's good to try and get a nice golden crisp on the outside and have it quite high heat when you're frying off your meat, like this. For this recipe today, I use chicken thighs and chicken breasts. Chicken thighs are really good for slow cooking. 1 white onion diced, and then I cut ginger into thin slices to add, and then poured that into the chicken and allowed that to brown off, and the heat is now turned down. Now I prepare all my spices. I absolutely love coriander so much. I quite often use way too many spices, but I think it's really good to have a lot of flavour in there. I use nutmeg, turmeric, cinnamon and cardamom pods, a bit of saffron, and a little bit of cloves in there. And then I also use dried mango powder, but that's not something people usually use for korma, I don't think. That's more used just for dal. I then added in all my spices to the chicken and onions. And just give that a mix in. I added some veggies to this dish, and also I did use a bit of korma paste, which is a bit cheeky. So often curries can just be like just meat and the sauce. I often just add in vegetables anyway. For this dish, I used courgette, mushrooms and cauliflower, and then I added in my korma paste and some 4 cloves of garlic, and then I added in water, and then I allowed it to cook for about half an hour. I turned up the heat high to get it boiling, and then I turned it back down again. After it's been cooked for about half an hour and all the flavours had all combined to make a kind of sauce, I then added yogurt in. To be honest, at this point in the recipe, I was feeling a little bit concerned about what this would taste, and it also didn't look that great once the yogurt went in, and it kind of went a bit weird and splitty. But as I said, in the end, it did turn out tasting really tasty. I think if I did it again, I would use a little bit less water. Hopefully it will be a slightly thicker, creamier sauce. I then allowed that to cook. For about another half an hour. And then I added in coriander to the dish. And I allowed that to cook in for a couple of minutes, but not for too long. The flavours in this were so good. They were so mild, with a really nice fragrant background of all the different spices in there. I will definitely try to recreate this dish again. God knows how it will turn out the second time. Hopefully I'll be able to make a slightly thicker sauce. I recommend you getting in the kitchen and just giving things a try.